Hey guys, welcome back. So if you were watching earlier, we dropped the PSA video on our grade that came back in for our Charizard. So that was pretty cool. That was our Shadowless Charizard. That's our first official sending in a card and getting back graded. We've had some graded cards on the channel, but hey, I wanted to also go over some things that I don't know if like Halloween's causing it or what. But so like as you know, I'm mainly a buy and sell sort of guy. Technically, I collect in the sense that it sits with me for a while in the terms of after I've bought it and I list it. And some things I have so many things that I actually have a hard time listing them all. So one of the things that just sold recently, and I was literally about to package it. I'm like, you know what? Let's do a video on it. One of the things that just sold was this Team Rocket's Mewtwo, Japanese, and he's got the swirl literally right next to his hand, which is pretty dope. When his hand is basically swirling some energy attack. Looks like there's some sort of, not really as distinct, but some sort of swirlation going on back there. Really good looking card. When I list my cards on eBay, I take tons of pictures and I try and point out the defects that are obvious, at least the ones that I can see. And I put out that the card does have creases, but other than that, there's nothing really else wrong with it. There's no scratches, and whiting is minimal. That's a scratch on the case, not on the card. I'm pretty certain. Well, I'm not gonna re-pull it out, but I take them out of the cases and all the sleeves, and I do the pictures raw of the cards. And what was interesting about this is I had this card listed at $5 flat by now for quite some time. No one, went into it, so I was like, okay. So I set it to 1 penny as a bid, and if it wasn't going to sell, I was going to do it as a giveaway card, and it went up to $18 as the final bid, and here we are. I had it listed as $5 flat for like probably 2 months. I changed it to a penny bid, and people bid up to it 18 bucks. So yeah, that's just one of my really weird occurrences. I'm not totally surprised on eBay. It's happened before. I've watched some other listings to where one person, and this is two of the same cards because they were PSA graded cards. One was a PSA 10 Rainbow Espeon, I believe, and the other one was a PSA 10 Rainbow Espeon. And one of them was listed as buy now for $200, and the other one had an active bid of 220 something bucks of like 30 bids put on it. So whoever wasn't the top bidder for that one, if they were like at $219, they really wanted the card, they could have just bought it from the dude who was selling it as buy now for $200. So that happens on eBay a lot. Still, really cool card, really nice card. What a lot of people don't know is you can see it through is the hollow full is a lot more textured for this card for how old it is. So you can actually see there's a lot of like textured dots behind it. And Mewtwo just looks kind of different in this one. He doesn't look exactly like Mewtwo, but pretty good card. I wish it didn't have the creases, but it is what it is. Otherwise, I probably would have sent it in to get graded. But oh well. So we'll be shipping that off. But then also, what was a weird deal was this today. I just picked this up today from I believe his name was Joe. He had it spelled Joe Jogh. He was asking for a shout out, so I went ahead and I'm doing the shout out now for the binder, and it's a pretty good binder. He didn't have a idea what he wanted for it, so he asked me to come see it in person and praise it. And that's really what I like to do. I like to see what people want, so I can kind of get more into their realm, or let me know if I'm not going to be even able to make it. So I have people send me pictures first of their binders and what they're going to have. And so of course he did the smart way. The first picture caught my eye. It had base set Charizard, base set Blastoise, base set Venusaur, and I'll pull the Charizard out because that's what everyone always wants. So I'll pull the Charizard out. He's got some surface scratch on the hollow foil, and he's got some silvering, but other than that, he's in pretty good condition. There's a little dot there. The whiting is minimal to a corner, and the centering's pretty good. So I guess it's one or the other. You either get good centering or you get some whiting. Um, so it was pretty good. Well, the reason why this binder purchase was strange is because I offered him a certain amount, and he said, uh, Yeah, I could do that. And I said the only issue is I have a ATM withdrawal limit per day. And he said, well, if that's the case, um, how about you reach your limit and then see me tomorrow and give me the rest. I happen to have the rest of my wallet just by coincidence. So he sold me this binder for $100 less than what I was going to pay for it, and so I thought it was interesting. But you got the base set Blastoise, not base set 2, base set Blastoise. So he's got the starters, all pretty good. They're all in pretty good condition. I guess I'll go through the 3 starters. Since I've got my tripod back, I just happened to leave it in another room and didn't know where it was. So Blastoise, some surface scratches on the hollow foil. It's not the worst thing in the world. And some silvering, but there's no real super damage like creases. Just some whiting here and there. Nothing crazy. Um, when I did purchase this, I didn't pull them out. Especially since they gave me a discount anyways. I just did a quick look through the plastic. Um, they're in decent condition. They're definitely not in the best. Some silvering. The Venusaur seems to be the most beat up out of the 3. And some dirt and stuff. But I'd say they're all still worth sending to the PSA. So no biggie. So we got Pidgeot, Pidgeotto, a Beedrill. It doesn't look like there is any duplicates, if I remember correctly. There wasn't any duplicates, like ones hiding behind more cards. They're clean looking Raichu, at least in the plastic. Let's see how clean this Raichu actually is. It's actually really nice hollow full Raichu. It's got, minor scratches, especially in comparison to the first 3 we saw. Most of the scratches are here. A decent one there. It's not really whiting. It's almost like peeling. I mean, they're going to count it as whiting, but still really good card. Let's see what else. Got a Nidoking, Clefable, Clefairy. There's definitely some scratching the surface and a non-hollow Nidoqueen. Not too rough. The Ninetales is more roughed up than I would have liked. There's some pretty heavy damage in the corner. I don't know if that one's really worth sending into the PSA, to be honest. Dugtrio. Nope, no duplicate. I thought there was. Oh well. The Poliwrath. This one was pretty obvious. There was some, pretty heavy wear. It was used pretty heavily to play with. Tons of scratch there. A good amount of silvering and whiting and stains on the back. So this one isn't worth PSAing at all. Now, this caught my eye though, and it was still in its original seal. Doesn't mean it's going to be in perfect condition. As y'all know, I opened a sealed Machamp on this channel not too long ago. But this one looks like it's in better condition than the one that I opened, so that's good. It looks like this one's been sealed, and then it looks like it was never pulled out. There is some super minor whiting. So we're looking at probably the PSA 9 category. Definitely strong 8. When I say strong, I'm talking about in favor of what it will grade. So I had a little discussion on this in regards to my previous video when people say it's a strong PSA 8 and it's already graded. Well, that doesn't really mean anything because it's already PSA 8. It makes sense to say something is a strong PSA 8, strong PSA 7 or 10, whatever, if it's an already ungraded card. And the reason why is because you're stating that, hey, I've dealt with some graded cards, I've seen some graded cards. I didn't feel like getting this one graded. I'd rather just sell it. I'm going to tell you now that this card should, I strongly believe it will be a PSA 8. And granted, you're taking that person's word for it. There's a lot of people who do this as a way to just increase the price of their cards without actually having them PSA graded. I don't think that's right necessarily. If you want PSA prices, you need to have your cards PSA graded. That's kind of the rule of thumb. This was pretty nice. I don't know what condition it was in. I only had a brief look at it. I saw there was a first edition Hollow Magneton fossil. Alright, so once again, definitely not in perfect condition. Lots of edge wear up here. There's some scratch on the hollow foil. and then there's a lot of whiting on the back, so probably not worth PSA rating. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, Maraton's not super collectible, but he is fossil, he is hollow, and he is first edition, so it probably still might be worth it, but not to the same extent. Like if he was in just, you know, a few less scratches, probably no whiting on the back would really add to it. We have a first edition Hypno. We've got fossil Gengar. Looks like we hit our fossil hollow Gengar. We have a fossil Haunter, but it doesn't look hollow. He is not, and he's got some damage on the back. Haunters really aren't worth grading unless they're either first edition, some sort of misprint, or hollow. Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, some scratches on them. I won't really say they're worth it. I don't believe there's any shadowless cards in this collection, and that's fine. We really bought it for the base set 3 up in the front. Some Electabuzz, Magmar, Scyther, no other hollows here. And then it was kind of interesting. I remember this. Some of the cards in his back become a little bit better condition. Still not perfect, but a little bit better condition. So this Jolteon has some scratches on the hollow foil, actually quite a bit. I don't know what really causes such a thing to where people get so many scratches on specifically the hollow foil. Some stain on the back. I don't know how much scratches on the hollow foil counts against as a PSA grade. And then there is some, just like some wax paint missing there. I don't know if you want to call it paint, I guess ink. But not the worst for sure. I'm just going to lift this up real quick and adjust here. So I'm seeing a Pinsir. A common Pinsir mistake is there's a symbolless Pinsir. This one is not one. It has its jungle symbol right there. Tons of scratches in the hollow foil. It's really kind of, it's seen a trend here. I'm not quite certain. It must be a certain way he either kept or stored these cards, or maybe somehow he played with them a certain way, and it really wore down the hollow foil on all these cards. Real shame. Not a huge deal, but definitely not my favorite thing to see. Gyarados, looks like he's in better shape. This is just one of them things to where the hollow foil background isn't as well presented because of its darker background color. So there is some scratches there though, and I'm certain it's, yeah, you can see them, it's prevalent. I don't know what exactly caused this or why they're all like this, but a little bit less whiting on that one, so that's good. A little damage to the corner on the front though. Let's see how Lapras is. It's a better Lapras than I usually see. Lapras seems to be like a super heavily played card for a lot of people, or almost never played. So this one has very few lines. They almost seem like those are factory lines on this one. The back's pretty decent. This one's probably worth PSA grading. Lapras you really want to get like at least a PSA 8. PSA 7 is probably fine. I haven't looked at Lapras in a while in regards to collectability and price. This Vaporeon has a ton of scratches. It's really crazy. Only on the hollow foil. Right, as I've said in other videos, the hollow foil on the original cards is very fragile in terms of the rest, and that's what adds to the collectability when they're in better condition, because they're so hard to find without scratches. So it's not super upsetting. If anything, I wish myself had spent a little bit more time looking. This Aerodactyl's in pretty good finish, which is really surprising. Really clean cut. I guess Aerodactyl himself takes up a lot of hollow foil, so that would help prevent scratches. There's some silvering, but very minor amount. It's a pretty good Aerodactyl, so that's pretty cool. This Kabutops looks clean. Let's see how he looks outside of his plastic sleeve. Looks like some factory lines. I don't know if you'd really count those as scratches. I'm not certain how the PSA counts against those. Centering on the front looks fine. I see some minor silvering, nothing crazy, and some minor whiting and some minor scratches. I'd say he's worth it. So we'll pull him to the side. I'm eventually going to pull them all out, but I'm just going to go ahead and sleeve a couple right now. So there's a large amount of silvering line here. It looks like the centering's a little off from the front. The hollow foil's in better condition than most of the cards. That's good. There's some minor scratches up there. Looks like a kind of unplayed card. The back looks pretty phenomenal. Slight miscentering, not huge. A little bit of whiting, nothing crazy. So that's a pretty good Articuno. I forgot that this was even a part of it. I really hope that the hollow foil is not beat up on him. Oh, I really hope the hollow foil is not beat up on him. So Dragonite has always been a really cool card because he's like one of the first ones that has like a multicolor, like distinct multicolor background. There's no dominant scratches, but there is a ton of minor scratches. The centering looks pretty good actually, so that's pretty awesome. No silvering. There is some whiting. The back centering seems to be a little bit more off. Some damage to the corner. If there wasn't as much whiting, I'd say definitely PSA 7, but this is probably in the PSA 6 category. But Dragonite is still just one of them ones that he's up there with, he's getting up there with Charizard. Not as crazy as prices, but he's getting up there with Charizard. Now, I know there was some mention on some other channels in regards to there should only be a hollow Japanese promo Mew, but I do know that English hollow promo Mew is a real card. It's not a fake. And so this is real. It's in pretty good condition. I only see one scratch on the wear of this one. I guess Mew wasn't a very playable card, so that's why they tend to be in better condition. Some whiting on the back, nothing crazy. I can see this getting a PSA 8, weak PSA 9. It's a possibility, so I'm going to pull him to the side. Let's see here. Believe it or not, Dragonair, at least the original Dragonairs, are worth some money by themselves, or PSA graded, so that's pretty good. This Mewtwo definitely looks played. Man, that is a ton of scratches. I don't know how hard the PSA counts against the scratches though, so I don't know. I'll probably still send it in and see what happens. Although this is more whiting than I wanted against something that has so much surface scratch on it. So I'm still going to sleeve them. I got them out. These Mewtwo, I'll pull them to the side. We got the great flaming chicken over here and its wonderful pose of glory. Definitely play. Scratches aren't as deep, but they're all over the place. And without me turning it over, I can feel there's damage to the back. So yeah, I was feeling the stains, and I was feeling the scratches across the wax of the card back surface. Really not great condition. Probably PSA 4. Still tough to say. I'm still waiting for my rest of my PSA cards to come in so I get better examples and a better mindset. Still don't sleeve them though. Legendary Bird. I mean, I like to sleeve pretty much every card that comes through. I like to penny sleeve. So I can see there's some damage on the Zapdos. So there's a bend here. There's scratches all across the surface. There's I don't know what we call them. I guess just ink scratch removal. It's like someone tried to write the letter Z in him for Zapdos. Yeah, I can feel a ton of damage to the back. There's wax missing. It's not smooth. If you rub your finger across and you feel rougher than normal, there's damage to the back. So that's an easy instant tell. I can feel it as I hold it. I don't even know what this would get. Maybe a PSA 1 to 2, probably 1, mainly because of the bend. The grid pretty heavy against bends. So I'd say it's PSA 1. I don't think that's worth it with the Zapdos. So we'll go ahead and move on. I've seen some tropical cards. Now there's some good news to that. The tropical cards were kind of when they were, changing up like the formula they used for, like the material they used for the hollow foil pattern stuff. So it's a little bit more scratch resistant, but it wasn't totally scratch resistant. The issue you have is it's all over the card now. That's why they did that. They knew, hey, we can't make this with the same stuff. It will scratch way too easily in the card. And besides losing its value, they're worried about losing, the character of the card. Like, people want these cards to look good for a little while. So big swirl right there, just not very definitive, like not like tightly wound, but big swirl. Pretty good Ladybug. Pretty decent on the back. It's pretty good. That's good to see. Good to see. I don't know what Lady Ball Tropical goes for PSA 8, but that should make it. Now this Yanma has a pretty heavy swirl, really definitive, super tightly knit right there, super tightly knit. I'd say, hey, those scratches are probably on the sleeve, but I would probably say, oh, wow. So there is some scratches, but it's mainly a mirror finish, so that's pretty good. That's pretty surprising. Well, I guess it's not so surprising. So I guess the other reason why these cards are probably coming out cleaner is it's very clear that whoever the original owner it was, looks like they put them in a sleeve, and they're just in better condition because they had an extra additional layer of protection, so that's pretty good. I like this Tropical Vileplume, so we'll pull this guy out. I'm really hoping you're enjoying this, guys. Now, I am seeing some silvering here, so I guess this guy wasn't always in the sleeve, or he was really roughed up while he was in that sleeve. There's a super good swirl right there. Tons of dot pattern all over the place. There's some silvering along the edge, but I don't see too many scratches on the front, which is good. And the back's pretty clean. There's still plenty of wax on the back. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We'll put them back in the sleeve. These are pretty decent sleeves. These are like 5-cent sleeves. There's a little thickness to them. They're not perfect, but they're pretty decent. We're going to do another Mew. I think everyone really likes Mew. Tropical Mew. The other thing, if you don't know about the tropical cards, and this is kind of a common fact, but since we're on them, we'll go ahead and talk about it. So this one, interesting, looks like it was played some. It's got some roughness on it. But you can still see the reflection of my fingers off of it. There's some silvering along the side. Some damage to the back, nothing super like crazy. There's a swirl right there. It's really easy to get swirls on these cards because there's just so much hollow foil to play with. Now, if you didn't know, the tropical cards, all of their backgrounds conjoin to create a scene. I don't have enough of them to really do it right here, but yeah, so there's other Pokemon in the background, and they have their own tropical card too, and they actually end up creating a scene together. When you bought these, you got like a whole like poster magazine that actually had them all displayed, the whole scene, and then you got the cards too. So we're going to go through this Meryl. So Meryl's got a Magikarp in the background, jumping off an island. This Meryl looks like it's in pretty good condition. A little bit more scratches than the other tropical cards. Back is pretty good. No really definitive swirl, just a bunch of dots everywhere. So decent Meryl, tropical Meryl. Got tropical Togepi, and it looks like he has a Bulbasaur, a Squirtle, and I believe that's Pikachu. And a definitive swirl right there. I really hope these scratches are on the sleeve and not the card, and it looks like that's the case. It looks like there's some factory line scratches maybe. They're not exactly straight. Those probably aren't factory lines. But super definitive swirl. If I had to guess, yep, the back is in decent condition. So that's pretty good. These really stood out, growing up because of, one, the little tree, how few of these there were, the scenery, and then also the fact that hollow foil was everywhere on these cards. They're kind of like the first ones to do that. I guess we'll go ahead and pull these out too real quick. They're already sleeved. I'm not going to re-pull them out of their sleeve. I see that I'm running this clock a little bit longer than I'd like. So we got Blossom, Japanese, Ursaring, English, and we have is there a swirl? Nope. And a Delibird. I almost forgot this guy was a Pokemon. So yeah, those are all pretty nice. For some reason they were individually sleeved. Looks like the last few pages were individually sleeved, which kind of explains why they were in better condition. So there is a whole bunch, in my opinion, of those EV promos. There's another English Holo, Japanese Mew promo, Dark Alakazam Holo, Unknown A Holo, and a Clefairy Holo. And it looks like, I think I said this in my other videos, Unknown is spelled correctly. I thought Unknown was spelled like actually how you spell Unknown, but the Pokemon version is spelled like that. I think this was the last page. Nope, it isn't. I remember there's more. This is the last page. So Looks like someone was really into pre-releases, so 6 pre-release Gyarados, 1 Dark Raichu, and a Misty Cedar pre-release. Sadly, it looks like these guys also have hollow foil scratch. So there is hollow foil scratch across that Dark Raichu. Still has, even with that hollow foil scratch, if you hold it the right way, pretty good mirror finish. You'll find this in eBay a lot, where people will take just one picture of a card, and then just like this, and then they'll take another picture of a card. Like you can see, I have some whiting, and they'll hold it maybe like, let's see here. I don't do it, so it's hard for me to figure it out, but they may hold it like so for their picture, and the more damage up there is way less apparent. So yeah, you have that a lot on eBay. Granted, you can always return stuff. If you're an eBay seller, look, it's just better if you try and show as much damage as possible. Your buyers will be a lot less surprised. You'll have a lot less issues. Don't be this guy. This is you with your Facebook filter on, or your whatever filter on. This is you in reality. Filter on, reality. So it would have been really nice if the Raichu was definitely this, but it's not. It's probably still worth PSA rating. Luckily, I pulled something else out of his sleeve while doing this. I don't remember what. I'm mostly everything else anyways, but let's go ahead and put him in. It's really hard to tell, guys, because I don't know exactly how hard they count against hollow foil scratches. I imagine it's pretty hard, because people really care about hollow foil scratches. So I would say 6 to 7. We don't know, though. Most of my guessing, the cards I've sent in, if I remember correctly, most of them don't have hollow foil scratches. They really just have whiting and stuff. But that's no biggie. We'll get from it. This was a pretty good buy. Charizard was in pretty decent condition, which is really all that matters. The Venusaur was in okay condition. The Blastoise, I think, was in better condition than the Charizard, I think. But that's all pretty good. I would have liked maybe some first editions or shadows here and there, but it's all going to kind of come out and work together. We're going to send these into the PSA, most of these, at least these 3 for sure. And we'll just go from there. So, really hope you enjoyed the video. Really hope y'all enjoyed the binder story and the eBay story. They're all real stories. It's crazy how it works. It's not the first time. This happens every now and then, to where I have something listed for $1, no one buys it, I set it for a penny, the bids get out of control, people get competitive, and then the item sells for 10. I'm not saying list all your items for a penny, just understand sometimes eBay is weird. I really hope you enjoyed this binder video. We'll be doing another giveaway probably soon, maybe this weekend. It's all really going to be dependent on some other things going on. I still have some other items coming in, a little bit more mystery box. This won't be labeled as a mystery box, so you guys can believe me. No one called me as a liar for my previous mystery box videos, but it is what it is, whatever. I'm certain it doesn't seem like they're real, but everything I do on here is real. Really hope you enjoy. Thanks. Bye.